Today we are back in Panama City Beach, Florida. And by back, I mean that we were here on Monday and Tuesday. And then we went away for a conference for a couple of days and we're back here, it's Friday. And today we're gonna check out Shell Island for the first time ever. We were inspired by the idea of going when we saw Kristen and Sam's video on this particular location.
You guys see this? I'm so amazed.
So mad props to them, be sure to go over and check out their channel. But our goal on Monday and Tuesday was to check out a few things in the Panama City Beach area that are our absolute favorites and a couple of things that we hadn't done before. On Monday, we arrived just in time for lunch. Our first stop today is for lunch, and a friend recommended that we come to a place called J. Michael's. Vivian found a place where you can watch Bluey in the corner. Lunch has arrived. The kids and I both got orders of red beans and rice with sausage.
And I got the Reuben sandwich.
And like a good Gulf Coast restaurant, some Crystal. There's some bay leaves floating around in here, which I think were cooked with the beans if I had to guess. And it gives it really good flavor. I like it. All right, it's time for us to board the shuttle. We're excited. We just typed Shell Island Shuttle into our GPS and it led us to this location. There's a dock behind the building where various shuttle and rental services are available. The tickets for 2 adults and 1 child ended up being a little over $80. And when it's time, you just walk right out to the end of the dock and hop on the teal shuttle pontoon boats. Next up, we had never been to GulfWorld before, so we were excited about checking out this marine adventure park. Now, our experience with these kinds of marine animal locations is that they have some animal talks that they do throughout the day, but usually they only happen like once or twice, and at this point, we're coming in about halfway through the second half of the day. So I wonder if we'll really get to do that much.
We've already spotted a playground, so I think this is going to be a good place for us. That poor little brother.
After wandering around lost for a few minutes, we heard some voices, so we wandered over to the Tropical Theater, and we found a show where they have trained some domestic house pets to compete with one another. It was birds versus cats, basically, but there was a dog. Then it's through the glass doors to the rest of the exhibits. It's really cool. There are probably about a dozen parrots in here.
This little guy's name is Sherman. Hi, Sherman. And this here is Paco. And back here is Susie.
We found an African spur tortoise. He's hanging out under the heat lamps. I'm jealous of him right now because it's a little bit cold in the Panhandle in March. And now to check out the outdoor exhibits.
We're gonna go find some alligators. We found all the alligators. It looks like they're taking a nap.
Here in this habitat, we have a total of 15 juvenile alligators.
The Ocean Oasis tank also hosted a talk earlier in the day. We missed that, but it is really cool to come over here and see the sea turtles and the sharks. I was a little disappointed at first that the sea lion show wasn't going to be inside of the stadium because we saw a really incredible sea lion show at the Miami Seaquarium, and I was hoping that this would be kind of the same thing. But actually then in practice, it really wasn't disappointing at all. We really got to get up close and personal with the sea lions. It was so cool to be able to see them do all their tricks so close. It is stingray feeding time, which is one of Vivian's favorite things to do. Oh, and we met a bird.
Can you do a picture?
Then we got to see the dolphin show. All right, another recommendation from a friend, Runaway Island for dinner. First impression, these are some pretty incredible views.
I got a side salad and it's really good.
I got the teriyaki chicken bowl.
I got the blackened shrimp basket. We made it! So we made it, and it was recommended that we mostly stay around the shoreline. They said that for the most part, the island is long and slender. There's one part that's 7 miles wide, but they said that it's probably better not to go in there because of all the sand spurs and various kinds of snakes and quicksand and all the other things. They said that the riptide is really heavy today on the Gulf side, but there is a shallow part here just where the rocks are. That is a great place for the children to be able to hang out. And it happens that as we journey over that way, that's where the best shelling happens to be too. So if we keep walking a little bit farther, then we should be able to start looking for shells. If Elena and I are being completely honest, we would probably rather do this than just about anything else that we regularly do.
Yes.
Pier Park is probably our favorite thing in all of Panama City Beach, Florida.
So good.
The Sky Wheel is located at the end of Pier Park. If you want to go up and get some huge 360-degree panoramic views of the ocean, we won't be paying for that on this trip. Vivian's really enjoying pushing her little brother around, which, if we're honest, she always pushes him around.
Yeah,
but now
this time it's
it's
fun.
legitimate. I don't know how last time we were here we missed covering the fact that there are some shops behind Pier Park too. Even more shopping and dining back there, like a JCPenney and a Target and even more stores. I had forgotten that this whole section of the shopping center even existed, and then Elena said, "Oh yeah, but that one time, that one time I went to the Old Navy." How do you even remember that?
I just do. It's a special gift.
Elena remembers every Old Navy in the entire state.
I do. It's true.
All right, probably one of our absolute favorite things about this area, though, is that then we can follow this pathway all the way down to the beach. Oh, and by the way, we dress like this because we don't have time to stay for very long today. We actually have to hop on the road and head back to South Florida after this. And I wasn't expecting that there would be any kind of amenities like restaurants or restroom facilities or anything, and there are no restrooms, but there is a floating restaurant where you can get some barbecue nachos, and we were told that they're very good. All right, we made it down by the water. I just love the Emerald Coast. It's so beautiful. Take a look in the description for our Surviving the Beach Essentials Kit. We found a good spot for the kids to be able to play in the shallow water, and now I'm going to wander off just a little bit farther and look for shells. We booked a Comfort Inn. It was pretty inexpensive for this week. It's like $105 per night. So let's see what we got ourselves into. Now, I think the shells are mostly on the Gulf side, and she said that you just gotta walk a little bit further down than everybody else because most people just come to the closest shells they can find, pick up some shells, and then take off. You know I'm going to take advantage of our status. If they ever come up with a referral program here, then I am going to drop that in the description below for sure. From the outside, this Comfort Inn is not too bad. But I will say that due to my unfortunate attire choice for this excursion, I'm not real interested in walking super far. Actually, surprisingly enough, these rooms and the furnishings throughout the hotel are better than were pictured on the internet, and I think it's because it was more recently renovated is what it looks like. Not too bad for a Comfort Inn. As I was walking, some jet skiers found a dolphin. So that was pretty cool. And I just found my first shell. All right. We're all packed up and ready to go for our adventure for today. And right now, Elena and Vivian are grabbing some breakfast at the complimentary breakfast in the hotel. And then we'll be on our way. What'd you get?
I got oatmeal and it's really good, and We got the sausage.
And I got some hard-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs sounds yummy.
Yeah, it is.
Next stop, Chick-fil-A for me. It's true, if you keep walking a little ways, you find even more shells. And I found one that I really like to show to Vivian. Now, it's actually my understanding that if you go out into the water about knee deep, that you find even more shells if you scoop up the sand. And you can do a little snorkeling too. Meanwhile, the next place on our adventure was ZooWorld, one of our absolute favorite things to do in Panama City Beach.
We came to ZooWorld for the first time, I think 2 years ago. And we get to go back today, and we're so excited. I'm looking forward to seeing how Vivian remembers it. The lemurs are definitely ready to start the day. They're so excited, they're all jumping around.
ZooWorld, in fact, is probably one of our favorite animal experiences in the entire state as far as small animal attractions are concerned. The last time we were here, we thoroughly enjoyed the petting zoo. So it's totally worth the $10.50 to get the animal feeding cup. And we just got one for our entire family. But I almost think it would be worth it to get one for each person in your family, just depending on how much money you're willing to spend.
Oh, they're so fluffy and cute.
Yeah, and the white one is so cute.
There is nothing cuter than this exhibit right here. There are tons of little bunnies running around, and some of them are little babies. There's some great big alligators back here. They're all sunbathing.
So something that's really fun is the budgie feeding experience. They give you a couple of sticks and the cup that we mentioned earlier.
Look, Bobby. Look. You see it? See? Look.
It's actually pretty neat to arrive when it's not so crowded, especially earlier in the morning, because the birds are a little bit hungrier, so they're more likely to come to you. Although they have these big platters of seed down here that some of the hungrier birds seem to realize exist, so maybe we'll see. Of course, be careful to be sure where you step, because they tend to like to gather on the ground, and then sometimes this happens.
Yeah, you trying to get him? Yeah.
Alright, hello. Alright. They're like swarming all over me now. Okay, I think they've all woken up now. And so, well, as you exit, it's probably a good idea to make sure that you don't have any hitchhikers.
The last time we came here, there was a lion in this exhibit right here, and he was making a terrible sound. We thought something was wrong with him. And it looks like he's not here this time, so I'm a little worried. I kind of want to ask and see if he's okay. I have such PTSD from seeing emus. Just, if you know from our channel, then you know.
This exhibit is the arch nemesis of Aiken Adventures, the emu. Really did grab it.
I ain't opening my window. Excuse me.
These don't seem so menacing today.
Hello, you Mr. Emu. You go away, cutie.
They have this really neat little section right here where you can use your food that they give you at the front, and you can throw it over and toss it to the gators.
The sign says there's a bear in here, but we don't see one in the enclosure. Should we be concerned? Some warthogs, of course.
Ian's favorite thing is the bunnies, so we're going back to the bunnies so she can pet them again.
What's that? Oh man, they're multiplying like rabbits.
We're going into the serpentarium right now, which, if you didn't know already, snakes are one of my favorite things to see at zoos. They're just so fascinating to me.
This one's called the Emerald Tree Monster. I'm sorry, it's Emerald Tree Monitor. I guess I should pay closer attention. You can also see the kangaroos through the glass. Over here, some siamongs and some capybaras. It's time to head to the barnyard, our favorite part.
Check it out! He's my little pony twin. We both got the same hair.
Look at that up there. Can you see it? It's a giraffe. See the giraffe? He in fact does not see the giraffe. In this section there's a cow, there are lots of goats, some ostriches. A llama.
It's Cusco.
And a donkey. These ostriches have a nest full of eggs. And of course we're back at the rabbit enclosure again. The bear came back. He looks real fluffy.
I think the hardest part is keeping Pierce from going out into the water because he loves water and he's trying to go out into the water, so I have to keep watching him and pulling him back up.
Guess what? I got you something.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, there are signs all over Panama City Beach for the next place that we're going, and it is called Pineapple Willie's. We are gonna check to find out if this is just a tourist trap or if the food is actually good. And my friend in the area says the food is good, so I made his list of recommendations. Vivian is having a great time. Piercy, on the other hand, what's going on? There are indoor and outdoor seating options, but we chose to eat inside this time because the wind is a little unpredictable when you're closer to the water and it can be a little cold. So just choose what's best. I actually really like these nachos. Usually I'm really skeptical about like pineapple salsa and things like that mixed with my savory things, but this is really delicious.
We got the grilled chicken and we got some shrimp too on the side, but I'm really interested in this pineapple on top. That looks good.
All right, that was pretty good. Did you like it, Piercy?
No.
Did you like it? And for the record, he calmed down a little bit. Nothing will fix him up like some snacks and a little something to drink. Time for us to hop back on the shuttle and head back to the mainland for even more great things to do all around the Panhandle.
Click this video right here. Heard about it, we didn't see it.
I did.
Last time we pulled in, there was a short
The final stop on our journey was Shore Shack for pizza, and it was, of course, delicious. 10 out of 10, would highly recommend.